Adam, we're talking about all the ins and outs of Team USA today.
Oh, and I can't wait to pepper you and Dave with lots of questions.
It's showtime. This is The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast, and your one and only source for all things show skiing, bringing you news, knowledge, and interviews with the legends and stars of our sport. Here are your hosts, Matt Heilman and Adam Schaller.
Welcome to the Ski Show, still the only media on the planet dedicated to the sport of show skiing. We are into the spring of 2026. Things are rocking. We had an awesome Show Ski Moms episode, super popular. If you have not listened to that, you've got to check that out. Those ladies were fantastic. Really well-received episode. And this one, we're talking all about Team USA, so we're looking forward to that. We got lots to talk about today.
Yeah, and today's episode is sponsored by FlymanSkis, custom-made jump skis and Featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. You can get yours at FlymanSkis.com. And by Saga Sports. Elevate your game with water ski lessons and trampoline training for freestyle jump. Check them out at sagasports.us.
Yeah, we'd be remiss not to mention, as we talk about FlymanSkis, the injury that Nick Lyman suffered. And for those of you that are unaware, and I'm sure most of you listening are aware, you followed on social media, Nick suffered a neck injury he was actually doing a back ATB, and it was actually a fairly routine fall. He kind of fell into the wake. It didn't look that bad, but he ended up suffering a neck injury. He's had a previous neck injury, but in this go-round, he suffered another neck injury. He had some swelling. He had a little bit of paralysis for a little bit. Took him in, and he had a surgery to correct some of the swelling. Nick is still hospitalized as we speak, dealing with that. And so, Flyman's been a great sponsor of this podcast, of our award show, of all the things. And none of that matters right now. We're here to send Nick our best on a speedy recovery. We ask that you all give them grace. FlymanSkis is a ski company. They're producing skis for you all. People have orders waiting, and yeah, you know what? You're going to have to wait. And the last thing they need is people beating down their doors asking where your skis are, because you know what? It's hurting them too, because they're not able to roll with their business as they would like right now until Nick fully recovers. So please give them a little grace, support them through this process. And keep Jack and Nick's family as well in your prayers. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Matt, what's going on this weekend?
Yeah, we got the All-American this weekend. So kind of the kick. I feel like the All-American. So you got spring break, right? And but then the All-American is always in April, tied around the Hall of Fame induction. USA Water Ski Hall of Fame stuff that goes on that weekend. And the All-American is really kind of the kickoff to the season, the first show competition of the season. And they've got a massive event. It's grown the last couple of years. It's grown massively. They got a Friday practice. They have Saturday all day, Sunday competition. You got multiple swivel divisions, multiple jump. The list of freestyle jump is insane. They've got a specialty act competition. They've got a barefoot endurance, and it's all in Winter Haven, Florida. And so there'll be a lot of people in town this weekend for the All-American. I'm looking forward to the results, seeing how it goes, seeing who's ready to launch their 2026 season at the All-American.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really, it's kicking things off because we, like you said, spring break is done. Now we're only 4 to 6 weeks away from ski season here in the north. And today we thought we'd have a conversation all about Team USA. The application and selection process, the planning, the memories, the training, and a look ahead to 2027 Worlds. On the show today to help us with the conversation is frequent flyer David Rezin. Hi, Dave. Fantastic.
Doing great. We're looking forward to this conversation. Adam's going to take the lead on the questioning for us. We're looking forward to talking kind of in depth about Team USA and getting into kind of some of the nitty gritty of team selections, our plans, what it's looking like heading into Worlds, things of that nature. But we want to start out this Team USA conversation with a Mount Rushmore game. And so, gentlemen, I ask you, what is on your Mount Rushmore of Team USA memories? Your Mount Rushmore of Team USA memories. You get 4 on Mount Rushmore. We don't have...
Are we doing these... Am I saying all 4 at once, or are we going?
Yeah, I think you can. So let's start with you, Adam, and you can go all 4 of your... What's on your Mount Rushmore of Team USA memories? And these are probably going to end up being personal to each one of us. But now, we're now... 2012 was a long time ago. We're now at 2026, heading to the 2027 Worlds. A lot of memories. What is on your Mount Rushmore of Team USA memories?
Okay. We'll go sequential here. 2012 closing ceremonies. So I think like the award ceremony.
Okay. What stood out about that?
It was just awesome. Like getting a medal hung around your neck and then, the playing of our national anthem. Like, isn't that like every kid's dream? Yeah. So
are you talking about at the site on stage?
Yes.
Not at the banquet after.
At the site on stage.
Yep. 100%. Great memory.
Yep. Let's see. Jump ahead to 2022. Oh, yeah, it's 2022. Yeah. Opening ceremonies at Cypress Gardens. Because that was just an iconic location. So as a like water skier to march into the Cypress Gardens, bearing the red, white, and blue was pretty cool.
I love that. I'm sure a lot of our listeners, a handful of people listening to this podcast, were there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 were both 2025 in Australia. Opening act for show Saturday. Like Pete, barefoot line, doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
And then this one's personal to me. Is we were on the bus in 2025, and when was it? It was either after our first show Saturday I think it was after our first show on Saturday. We were getting ready to head back to the campground where we were staying. Matt and Dave were nowhere to be found, somewhere, dealing with judges or something. I don't know. And I told the team I was giving the pep talk in place of Matt and Dave. And I said, this was probably the last Worlds for a lot of us, and Team USA has never scored better on Sunday than we have on Saturday. So let's go do that. Yep. And we did.
We chalked that up to you.
Yeah. Well, yes, of course. So I just thought that was cool.
Yep.
Those are my 4.
You had the bus full of people in the palm of your hand while we were off doing whatever. I don't even know.
I don't know what you're doing.
But we were.
Yeah, but you know what? That's out of your comfort. That's the first time I heard that story, and that is completely out of your comfort zone. And I can see why that probably sticks in your memories as being a pivotal one. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, and they were actually all paying attention. Like I had eyes on all of them, and it was like, you know what? Let's go get this done. We didn't fly halfway across the world to go screw it up on Sunday.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Love that. All right, Dave. Time for your 4 Mount Rushmore memories.
Okay. I want to do honorable mentions after you go because there's so many great memories, but I want to just take a couple seconds to do that. But anyway, In no specific order, um, the 2025 ladies montage act, um, obviously with the crescendo of the four woman front flip, four person
Yep.
front flip.
Yep.
That's up there.
Yep. Yep.
Similar to Adam, the one that is the same is 2025 opening with Pete making his return, and alongside of a 7-man back barefoot line. And for me, being in that and like literally I'm 10, 15 feet away from him where he's landing and seeing side by side, and then he's slightly ahead of us and he just points at me and I give him a head nod. That was awesome. That was something that'll always stick out. So that's number two. Um, Number three, again, just personalizing it. 7-mans aren't done very often. We've done 3 of them successfully at a world tournament, but I would say the 7-man at 2016 at Wazicha, and how we did that intro running
On the
right
beach.
out of our
The
skis.
beach.
Up the beach.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up the beach, all the way up the beach, and doing our
Yeah.
intro. That was
Phenomenal.
awesome. That was awesome. That was standing ovation. That was cool. And then 2022 Worlds, obviously, audience was electric, and we did the 7-man there as well. And then I would say number one, and it's hard to top, and it's actually not on the water, but it's that feeling that you can't get over with. And Matt, you probably already know what I'm saying. 2012 pre-show Saturday, and just the electricity that will never ever happen in the same way again. But the Team USA chants and the crowd not knowing what to expect, the skiers not knowing what sort of experience they were going to experience. It was nothing short of electrifying.
No, I got goosebumps just thinking about that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
That's an awesome list.
Yeah.
Great list of Mount Rushmore. Mine is I'm going to start with that. Same 2012. And I have a little different perspective, and Adam and I probably do, because some of you were out, like you were out on the water at a certain point, like getting ready for that first act. But the electricity in the pre-show. So Janesville, every seat in the bleacher was full, and every aisle between every bleachers was 100 people deep. Like, I've never seen that many people at Traxler Park in my whole life. And so there's this buzz in the air, and the pre-show's going on, and I'm in the staging area. I'm on the radio calling the start of the show. And we're waiting, and it's the waning minutes of pre-stage, and the crowd starts going, USA, USA, and just goosebumps. Goosebump moment. And likewise, so that's the 2012 crowd and energy is on my Mount Rushmore. The post show of that too, when we were, especially the Saturday, final introduction, final wave, the electricity of that moment in front of the audience was incredible in 2012. The first Worlds. So great. For me, I have a couple of other personal ones as well. 2022, driving Keith St. Ange in the opener. He's the cowardly lion dressed in full makeup and lion gear, lion wetsuit. I had taken some video from the boat of the pre-show and of that. And so Keith got a barefoot pass preceding the big back barefoot line. And it was a killer opener. And driving Keith in front of that huge audience at Lake Silver in Florida was such a fun moment to be able to pull him and have a guy of his caliber, Keith St. Ange, leading off our show. So that's a memory that has stuck with me. 2020 COVID trip. Now, no one's talked about this. Those memories will never go away. Like, the whole deal, like from the airport,
the weirdness of it,
from the airport in Dallas when we're watching the NBA and March Madness gets shut down, and we hop on a plane to Australia. And when we get there and then we're training and everything's normal there. And we're out and about and we're sightseeing and then we're training. And then getting that call Sunday morning when we had an overnight in Melbourne doing some sightseeing and having some fun. And we get a message Sunday morning that the tournament's been canceled. And then all the ensuing chaos after. Like, that team and those memories will never go away. So that's on my Mount Rushmore of memories. Telling that team and that, like, in that room, Dave,
Yeah.
when we had to tell that team in that hotel conference
Lots of-
room,
Yep.
like the emotions that
lot of
everybody
tears.
went through.
Yeah.
Tears. Like, tears from people about not being able to perform Worlds. Tears from people who wanted to get home to their families because we're in a pandemic. Like, the emotions.
Grown men crying outwardly.
Yes. It was palpable. And those are memories we're going to have together forever. The other one, and you guys have mentioned it, we all have, is the opener with Pete. 2025, Australia. Pete does a back half next to a back barefoot line. It's his return from his horrific injury, the previous nationals. He got back, trained, got himself to form enough, and we did that. And for me, it was the single most nervous I've ever been in a tournament in my entire career.
Really?
Yes. Wow. Because I'm behind the boat pulling Pete, and my only thought is, I cannot fuck this up. This is his moment. I cannot fuck this up. And that was the most nervous, like, for anything that I've ever done in show skiing. I wanted to be able to have him land and turn that boat around and bring him to the beach and then let Adam do his thing. And let Pete soak that in and have that moment for him. That was the most nervous I've ever been. And it was because I wanted that for another human so bad. He deserved that moment.
Yep. That's what show skiing's all about. It's moments. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, you said that last year, Adam. That was your whole thing, man, right? Like in your last year.
Yeah, for sure.
And
so what I'm getting from this is, since we all picked Pete, like, Pete's face should be on Mount Rushmore. Right?
Right?
He might have to fight Trump for that.
But yeah, Dave, I would agree. The girls' montage was definitely on my list. The 7-man at Wazicha was definitely on my list.
I other memories. So, Dave, you got honorable mentions. Like, you mentioned that. Like, the Scotty Clack Mobe.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Scotty Clack Mobe, right?
Mobe at 50, right?
At 50
that was
years
his
old.
goal. Yep. 2014.
Yep.
2014, Eric picking up Nick Lyman.
Eric picked up. No, Nick picked up Eric.
Nick picked up Eric, yes.
Because Eric did the Mobe and then launched out of his skis and hung on, and
That's
Nick
right.
was next to him. So it was like I don't know, was it a Mobe gainer something?
Yep.
And Nick picked him up.
Yep. Sticking with Eric's comeback. Eric doing the shoe ski gainer at 2022, nailing it, skiing right in.
Yep.
And
Yes, and he did the heart to the crowd. That was
on
so
my list.
Awesome.
That was on my list.
Yep,
that was awesome.
an honorable mention for sure.
This is one that pulls at me, and I don't know why, but it's one that I see it all. And 2022 keeps getting brought up. It's kind of like but Liam doing the 720 off the kicker, and
also on my list.
No one else other than probably team members understand how he grinded all week long and how we stuck with him. And we had every bit of confidence, and he started self-doubting himself, like, hey, I want to do what's best for the team, and no, you're going to do this. And when he made that type B introvert Liam and the excitement that he showed coming up on stage, like, every time I see it, I get goosebumps, basically.
That's the pure joy of show skiing, that those moments are like so raw and so real, so amazing.
2016 5 high, it just was amazing to get it up. and it got up, and the dedication, the work that those members put into that was unbelievable.
I give credit to like that team and to Jerry who sort of spearheaded that. I didn't in my heart, I didn't believe a 5-high was possible. Now, I was not part of the 2016 team in any way, but I was like, there's not enough time. Team USA is not together long enough to do a 5-high. We have the right people can probably do it, but the time and to see it happen was so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the show directors, they were smart. They handed the keys over to Jerry, and Jerry, when it comes to 5-high, nothing can't be achieved. And
Yep.
I mean, I'm Jerry's teammate. I've been Jerry's teammate for 20. I'm like, there's no way this is happening. And it did. It was awesome. But so there was that, and then 2022. I got to give a shout out to the MOB Act in 2022. Unreal when those three guys came in, hit the stage. We let them do whatever introduction they wanted to do,
Yeah.
and Adam, fed obviously into that.
But
it
just
was
like
awesome
to remind people how awesome that act was, it was
Yep.
one ski mob, Garrett, the most beautiful in the world. It was back half. It was double one ski mob with Garrett and Ethan, and then it was front half, clean and to the beach.
Yep.
Like holy crap.
Yeah, and the crowd went nuts. And again, probably 2012, 2022 crowds, unreal. So yep,
Home turf, and then it leads me to wonder. I've been thinking about this lately, like if it's going to be like that in Lake City. Like, are we going to have that energy? I hope so. I hope people go.
I think you will.
And I hope we have that
I think you
awesome
will.
energy because it's been a while now.
we will.
And Lake City would be a great site for that.
Yep.
Two other ones, personalized. Both have to do with Kaylee Kohler.
Okay. I have one. I have an honorable mention with her too.
2022, I make her march all the way across in front of the crowd in a bikini while I'm delivering the worst one-line jokes ever. And I could say whatever I wanted because she didn't have a microphone. It was so much fun. And in 2020, after we learned it got canceled, we went to Bondi Beach. And a lot of us went surfing. Kaylee's board, she sent the nose of her board directly into my ribs.
Oh, I remember
And I
that.
swear to, and I was in pain. I get home. I mean, I had massive bruising on my side. I get home. When we finally get home, I call the doctor. I'm like, I think I broke my ribs. They're like, you're not coming in because we're in a pandemic. There's nothing we can do for you anyway.
That's crazy. So I have one with her too, but it's actually about her sister. So 2014,
Yep.
I think it's 2014.
No.
Kaylee got hurt.
16.
No,
Wasn't that
'cause
Wazicha?
I was on the team. It was
Okay.
12 or 14. I think it was 14. Kaylee got hurt, and we have to replace her in barefoot circles.
It was 14. Yep.
And her sister Ariana stepped in without practice and nailed the barefoot circle act in her place. Incredible. Like Ariana Kohler, I love that woman. And she stepped up and she was a gamer. She was a gamer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably go on for hours with all this
We could.
stuff, but
Yep.
before we dive deeper into our conversation on Team USA, let's chat about Saga Sports. They do water ski lessons of all types, but for freestyle in particular, they start with thorough trampoline training to help you elevate your game.
Yeah, the trampoline training is to prepare for new tricks without all the harsh falls. They teach you the right technique and help you learn that air sense to make new tricks. They've got trampoline clinics on the calendar for you to attend and to prepare for a summer of all your new freestyle jump tricks.
Yeah, they've helped countless top skiers perfect their craft and improve their skiing and jumping. You can check them out at sagasports.us. That's sagasports.us. Okay, time to chat in depth about Team USA. And so really what today's conversation is about is kind of like behind the scenes. We're talking with the two show directors for 2027 Worlds, Matt and Dave. And, this is really kind of going to be about the selection process, how they think about it. And this is going to be for all of you prospective Team USA members, like, what is the process? What can you be doing now? So hang on. This is going to be a good one. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about the application process, because this is step number one for any skier, right? You have to apply to Team USA. Where do you do that? How do you do that? Let's talk all about the application.
Go for it, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, so we've got a tentative timeline that we are getting ready to roll out. We're going to communicate that. Application process, again, it's tentative, but it's going to open up beginning June 1st of this year, and it's going to go through June 15th. So essentially 15 days in which that application process will be open. We are going to publicize and market the heck out of it so that no one within the show ski community should have any doubt or any question as to when that application should be sent in, or what the deadline, or when it opens up. We feel good about that. And then we're going to continue to accept video submissions even after that June 15th date, because we know that, even in the beginning of June, it's early on in the season, at least up north. And so we want to continue to get video submissions and footage of skiers and applicants doing what it is that they do best. So that's the dates, and everybody's usually really, focused in on when is that going to open up, what sort of communication there's going to be. Be on the lookout. We actually had our first bit of Team USA engagement that on our social media platforms, first time in a long time, that we kind of reinvigorated that, and that went out last night, and there's going to be a whole lot more to come in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and with the application, so people who have applied over the years know the form. It's very similar. It gives us an idea of what your skill level is, and pertinent information like a job application. But the video is very important. Dave and I are connected. Our teams are connected. We know we've done this a long time. We see a lot of people, but there's also a lot we don't see. And we love the video submissions. The application process, interestingly, over the years, Adam, it's different than it used to be. It used to be the first couple of years, there were literally 150 or 200 applications.
Okay.
And I think that was before people kind of knew the level it took to be on Team USA.
Sure.
Now we get fewer, but we still get 70, 80, 100 applications.
How many skiers do you usually take?
So the roster is 35.
Okay.
Plus 5 alternates.
Okay.
And of that, only about, depending on the year, 22, 23, 24 are skiers. Because we have drivers, announcers, sound.
Okay.
So we've got these other ancillary positions.
And on that application form,
Maybe 20. Maybe I'm a little short on that. 27 skiing spots, 28. Okay. But we're under 30 total skiers that are going to be on the active.
Because your full roster's got to be 35.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, on previous application forms, you guys asked for references, correct? And you guys have used those, right?
We absolutely do. 100%. And so,
yes, that's no joke. If you're putting down somebody's name, you want them to be a solid reference for you.
Yeah, and people ask us, what is your selection criteria? And we don't make any bones about it. We want to select the best of the best when it comes to skill and talent. But alongside skill and talent comes teamwork. And what sort of teammate are you? And Matt and I, we've got some good relationships, good networking within the show ski community, but there's always going to be a new crop of viable candidates. And those are the ones that we're really digging into. We're calling their club show director. We're reaching out to their president. We're reaching out to different skiers that have skied with or alongside them. We want to know what sort of teammate they are, because Matt often references even the best member on Team USA is only usually in, on average, 4 acts in the show. So what are they doing the rest of the time? they're rolling ropes, they're running costumes, they're going from the north end or to the south end, east end to
They're
the west
riding in
end
a
to get
boat.
skis down. They're riding in a boat. They're pulling pin. They're doing all the things that make a good teammate, right? And to be honest with you, things that they're probably not used to doing on their amateur team. But that's what makes Team USA cohesive, is those people who are willing to be great teammates. And that's what, makes the team successful year in and year out.
And
Yeah,
team,
and I don't think there's during a Team USA show, I don't think there's ever an idle body sitting in the skiers area. Like the whiteboard or whiteboards for that show are because like you said, you've got people that are jumping in and out of pickup boats as riders and drivers and riders in towboats. And sometimes they're using, I'm using those people on stage. So it's constant. There's so much going on for every skier, even though they might be in 4X. They are everywhere. They've probably done every role in the show throughout those 13 acts.
it's like one of our favorite parts and one of the most difficult parts is that puzzle of who's riding, who's driving, who's available where, who's in a pub, who is in the act, who could be on stage. And then we look at that spreadsheet of ours a million times. And every time we look at it, we find something, well, that person can't be in the pub here because they need to be down in this dock for their next act. Like, we find something all the time. And that puzzle's amazing. But to Dave's point, too, on the selection, team chemistry is so important. Like, it's not just skill. The chemistry matters because we're together a long time, and we do a lot together. We train together. We're going after a world championship together. And if the chemistry is off, that matters. Like, no matter how much talent we have, the teamwork and the team chemistry is a super important component, and everybody's got to fit into that part of it.
Okay. Let's assume June 15th rolls around and you've got 90 applications, right? Talk me through how you go through those, and you're not going to whittle it down right down to 29 skiers right away, right? There's going to be a tryout after nationals like there was last time. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So the next milestone in terms of that timeline is we're going to do a Team USA tryout selection and announcement near or around the state tournament, most likely the Monday or the Tuesday following the state tournament. So let's just say that's July 20th. So again, June 15th, those applications are due. We're going to continue to take video submissions thereafter, just so that people can get the content. Then the next date is July 20th, which we're going to go ahead and announce a tryout. And what's the tryout look like? Well, we had great feedback, great experience where we hosted a tryout our last go around, and we brought in 50 to 60 skiers, and ultimately wanted to see how they responded to different acts that we put them in, different groupings of skiers skiing alongside different people, how they communicated, what sort of teammates they were. And it was great exposure, while at the same time allowing a larger group of both skiers and drivers the opportunity to be affiliated, at least phase one, with Team USA. Matt, what would you add to that?
No, it was like, since we moved to that model, it's been an awesome experience. We see a lot. So we know getting applications and video is one thing, and then seeing people in real time with the best of the best is another thing. And it really helped us see clearly who's ready for the prime time, who's maybe not quite there yet, what leaders step up. The little shows we did were so fun. Having each group of skiers write and produce and then do a show. So fun and great to see who steps up, who does what leaders they lean on, what skiers they lean on. It's awesome. It's an awesome experience.
So Matt, let's talk a little bit about that experience and how we kind of put those groups of skiers into a fishbowl, and then we just watch. And so we take that 50 or 60 skiers, we separate them into 4 or 5 different teams. We tell them that they have 8 acts, that they have to have a theme, that they have to organize their acts, and they have to fit it within a 20 to 25-minute period of time. And then we just kind of watch the chaos ensue, right? And to your point, we see where their imagination comes in, how they prioritize execution versus difficulty, who they're grouping with skiers, where they're working together to make sure skis end up at the right side of the show course, ropes, so on, how they're communicating with their drivers, their expectations. And it's just an awesome display of where leadership comes into play, where people take on different roles and responsibilities. And it really goes ahead and goes a long way for us determining how we want to move forward or what sort of candidates they are.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was, and we'll do it again. It shed a lot of light on a lot of things. It also allowed us to talk to some veterans about what their experience was, who they felt stepped up or didn't step up. Like it's a really good process to flesh out the true talent that belongs on Team USA.
And I would imagine it's also probably a test of nerves, right? Like you could get some
100%.
younger skiers that are now in the presence of all of these great veteran skiers. And, are they going to be able to handle that kind of pressure? Because, right, the amount of pressure that they're going to feel when they're on the world's biggest stage at Worlds is going to be tenfold from what it is at tryouts. So I think
that happens even prior. Like the first time we step on the water, those nerves hit those people, right? So we put a guy who hasn't ever been there in a 4-man front flip with some veteran guys, or a swiveler who's up and coming alongside in a pair with a veteran, or in a 720 line with 3 other girls. And you start to see those nerves come out, and then they work through that, and we know that, and we watch that maturation process. But it's fun to see.
Yeah,
And
that's very cool.
we talk about the young skiers, but some of our veteran skiers struggle with that too. And if they're unable to perform during that time, that also, that has the potential to cast a shadow on them as well. Also, our drivers, we can't forget about our drivers. We're asking for feedback from the skiers in terms of how is that lineup, that jump pattern. Did you have to ask the driver what it is that they want? Did the driver ask you what you wanted? How are they able to control your speed? So we're getting a lot of driver feedback during that time as well.
And that tryout is specifically for skiers and drivers. There is no sound, no announcers at this tryout, correct?
That's correct.
That's what it was last time. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So June 15th rolls around. You get all the applications. By the Monday after state, you're going to narrow that down to 40, 50 skiers. They're going to be invited to this tryout, which will be held the Monday, Tuesday, directly after Nationals, correct? And
Correct.
That'll be held where? Because Nationals is in Iowa this year.
We're going to do it in Iowa.
You're going to do it in Iowa?
Yep, we've worked out with the Waterhawks.
Okay.
They've been very gracious. They're going to give us use of the site. Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, they're lending us some boats. We're gonna do it right in Iowa.
Yeah, so just make a note of that, skiers. Like if your team's not at Nationals and you want to be part of Team USA, you need to make sure you're making arrangements to be potentially at in Iowa for those tryouts.
Yeah, and that's
right,
a great
so-
call, right? So there's
Yeah.
only 3 weeks there. So we're going to get the word out July 20th, right around there, 3 weeks before that tryout occurs, and they've got to make those logistical, accommodations,
Yep.
basically.
And that's on the application process. We're very clear on the front page of the application that you need to commit to X, Y, and Z, financial commitment of this. You need to be able to be at all these dates. Like it's part of applying is you're committing your availability, your time, your money to being on Team USA.
And then after the tryouts, right, you guys then figure out exactly who's going to be on the team. When is that announcement potentially going to be made?
Yeah, we'll do a live announcement. We'll feed it via our social media platforms, and do a live announcement, right around September 15th. So once again, we'll take probably another 30 days to evaluate, and then come up with the live announcement, which will be the full 35 members along with the 5 alternates.
Okay. So obviously for a skier, a lot of it's skills based, but as you mentioned, also being a great teammate, having good chemistry, whatnot is a big factor. Advice for potential applicants: how can a guy or girl help themselves through this process? So let's hear it directly from the show directors.
Yeah, that's a great question, right? Like, and we get that question a lot from people. What are you looking for? And here's the reality, like, on the girls' side of things, we want the world's best swivelers, but we don't need 12 of the world's best swivelers, right? We don't need 13. We need 3 or 4 of the world's best swivelers, and then we need girls who are versatile and can do other things. So for a girl, what else can you do? Can you jump? Jumping's become a big component in their ability to make Team USA. Do you heli consistently? Do you front flip? Do you gainer? Are you consistent with 720s, 1080s? And then the pyramid matters as well. Like, we can't have 12 second-tier girls on the roster. We have to have third and fourth tier girls. And so all of that plays a role, but having so like a general answer is having other skills besides swivel is important. Same with the guys, right? Like, almost, we're going to have 20 guys, 30 guys at tryouts that can 2-ski flip, 1-ski gainer in some combination. They're all going to be able to do that. What else can you do? Can you sky ski at a high level? Can you trick ski? Can you back barefoot? Those are other things that get you in the show and make you stand out. We only need a handful of guys that do the same trick on the ramp. We need versatility. What spots can you do on the ramp? Can you go, if we put you out in a group, like, it's fascinating at tryouts, we put a group of 4 together, or they do it themselves in the show, they're negotiating over who's in what ramp spot. And the jumper who says, I'll go anywhere, you tell me, is different than the guy who says, I can only go in the 3 spot. And so having versatility on the ramp, multiple ramp spots, and then other skills, back barefoot, sky ski, trick ski, wakeboard, base pyramid, superstar, other skills besides jumping.
Can I put you on the spot? And in years past, you have put some specialists on the team, like Gino on sky ski, Kevin Jack on the trick ski, Keith St. Ange for barefoot. Are you looking to do something like that again, or just kind of depends on who applies?
So I think one of the awesome things about Team USA and being the show director of Team USA is you've got this ability to go ahead and to bring in talent however you see it to best serve the team. And so you can go back to 2012 in terms of, some different skiers in 2014, whether it be Cheryl Bermeo, Sherry Orloff, Scotty Clack, Gino, obviously been on the team a long time. You mentioned Keith St. Ange, Kevin Jack. So we are always looking at ways to improve. We'll leave it at that. And there's been a good amount of discussion already in terms of who within the United States that we can bring in from a specialty standpoint to make the team that much stronger and that much better. And it's just a matter if we feel like they're a good fit with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing I would say, just a couple other things, just, guys and girls are both looking for just little tidbits. Girls, here's my advice to you. There's only 2 dips in the wake. Mm-hmm. Same thing as Matt just pointed out when freestyle jumping, be able to do a reverse 7 in bubbles just to the side of bubbles in each of your dips. Be able to do a reverse 7 outside right side wake, outside left side of the wake, and send in an application video that's continuous that shows us that you can do a 720 outside of the wake on the right side. Go to the dip right side, go to just outside bubbles, and go right clean across. That is impressive to us.
What's a dip? What is
Swivelers
a
know what a dip is. It's
It's
where
the
the
dip
wake
inside
dips
the
down.
wake. It's the
Yep.
widest part inside the wake.
Is it between the bubbles and the crest of the wake?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's
Yes.
two of them. There's one on each side.
Now it was fascinating. So I'm going to tell this story, and these girls are going to get mad at me. But even the veteran girls struggle with that. So I'm out in the boat of 1080/1440 line practicing in Winter Haven, and Maddie Hageman and Caroline Grubbs are fighting over who gets the right dip.
Arguably the top 2 swivelers in the nation,
Yep.
right? And two of the
And they
top 2
both
swivelers.
wanted a specific position to showcase themselves, and they're the best. And so we need and want versatility. They worked it out. They're awesome enough to do that, obviously, right? But to Dave's point, versatility.
Yeah. Take that. Take that advice. Show us that you can do that. Work on that at the beginning of the year, and then send in that footage to show us, not sliced up. We want to see it continuously. Boom, 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 all the way across. Guys, we know that you're good freestyle jumpers. Learn how to back barefoot. Learn how to step off on a back barefoot ski. I know it hurts. I know that you take some bad diggers. We got all of these guys that know how to freestyle. About 25% of them, if that, know how to step off on a BBF ski.
Yeah.
Learn how to do it.
That's what
And
separates
only
Team USA from everybody
5%
else.
of those know how to go outside of the right curl.
Outside of the
So you
curl.
got to be in a different spot, just like the swivel girls. You got to be able to back barefoot in multiple spots.
I want to point out something, and it's to his credit. Austin Wallstad. He's one of those guys, 1 ski front flip, 2 ski front flip guys. But he's one of those guys that from a back barefoot, because Team USA likes running the back barefoot line. Not saying that we're going to do it this next year, but it's a high scoring, it's a engaging act that everybody likes to see. We're able to now combo it with stuff like Pete doing his back half or another jumper. When you got a guy like Austin Wallstad that can go far right to far left and just do that and do that very well, that makes him very, very valuable. So learn how to BBF, learn how to go outside both wakes.
Yeah, and when it comes to speaking of versatility, I'm just speaking now from a production standpoint. At some point, other than introductions, you will probably be on stage. And it's generally been the expectation that, whether it's some type of lip sync or a dance or whatever, if you have lines that, you need to be comfortable on stage, right?
Yep.
So
and you need to have good showmanship.
Yeah.
Now, it matters. And in this show, it's important.
And I talked to, some people that we've put on stage in the past, and they say that they get the most nervous for those stage parts, not the skiing, but for those, if they got a couple of lines on stage. So, just think about that as you're going into this season. Like, hey, can I take on a stage role on my team? And really, is that something that I can work on? Because, I don't care how good a skier you are. There's nothing that's beneath you in a Team USA show. You're going to be riding in a boat. You're going to be pulling pin. You're going to be in a pickup boat. You're going to be on stage, whatever. So, be prepared for all of it. All right. So September 15th, you announce the team. Walk me through what happens next.
Yeah, Team USA 2027 spring practice will be in Winter Haven, like usual. We'll work with who always is a gracious host, hopefully the Brian Jackson family, and that is Water Ski Nirvana, Water Ski Paradise. So team members who've never skied there, it's awesome. And it's just a treat to be on Lake Bess and Lake Ruby. And so that'll be our Team USA 2027 spring practice. Then we'll have nationals in Warsaw, and we'll do a quick post-nationals practice. Same situation with the tryout, same timing-wise. So we'll start already probably Sunday evening, and then go into a full day Monday and a partial day on Tuesday. And then only a few weeks later, we'll be back together and back at Worlds 2027.
And then what would be the expectation like prior to Worlds, like the week before, 10 days before?
Yeah, we're gonna be almost 10. It's gonna be probably a 10-day commitment. We're gonna
Okay.
start training on Friday. We're probably gonna have a team meeting Thursday night. Training on Friday to Friday. 8 full days of training. Then the tournament. There's individuals Friday, team comp Saturday, Sunday, final banquet. People go home Monday, so they've got to be prepared for that 10 or 11-day stretch in Warsaw.
Okay.
September 9th, Thursday, September 9th kind of kicks things off.
Yeah.
2027.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about, I know it's early, but let's talk a little bit about the show. Correct me if I'm wrong, 2022 show and 2025 in terms of kind of the acts and act order weren't dramatically different, were they?
No.
Okay.
No, they were similar.
With
We
the
had
okay.
minor tweaks with montages.
Sure.
We added that backbreaker act. But the order primarily was consistent.
Okay. And then I know it depends on the applicants and the skiers you ultimately end up choosing, but do you expect the show to be similar for 2027?
I think Matt and I are committed to looking outside the box,
Okay.
but at the same time, what dictates the show is how it scores. Above anything, the whole goal is let's not make two ways about it, is winning. We've won in 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 was COVID, 22, 25. We've got an
We haven't lost.
expectation in a bar, and the bar continues to be held higher. And with each win at each Worlds, there's more pressure. And so, without a doubt, it's winning. And so, we will put on the water whatever we think is going to win and whatever components or disciplines we think are going to garner the most points. But that being said, Matt and I are constantly looking at ways to change things up, looking at adding different disciplines, and if we think that it can score higher than what we did before, we will not hesitate to go ahead and pull the trigger on that.
No, and we've also been open to leaning on our skiers for ideas. If we tell them this in the planning process after they make the team, like if you're working on something or you got an idea, like we can work it into a montage. The backbreaker act came as a result of skiers saying we can do this.
Noah Leach.
And
Right.
Noah Leach said, I can back barefoot and pull a back half. And they sent us the video in secret like 6 months before anyone knew from Lego of them doing this. And they're like, we can do this in a show.
Yeah.
And we rolled with it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about production. Do you guys have a theme picked out already?
Do you have a theme picked out, Adam?
You talking to Dave, right? So I'm assuming that's a no.
We
No,
don't.
that's a no.
That's a
But
no. Okay.
The last couple of times we have gone down the path of borrowing themes that have already been done by a team.
Makes sense, right? Because then you have
Yep.
you have the props, you have the general premise, and it's been
And
costumes. Rewritten, right?
Correct.
It's been rewritten.
We tweak the
No, go ahead. You got it.
we borrow a theme, props, costumes, idea, and then we tweak the script to change it just a little bit for our purposes, for our audience. We maybe modernize it or tweak it for Australia, but like we did Johnny's All-American Diner, which was Mad City's show. We borrowed all the props and costumes and main storyline. It was tweaked to fit, and it's worked really well. So we'll probably do that again, but we do not have that selected or chosen at this time.
I think it's our greatest example of like economies of scale, right? Like if we understand who the announcer is, and obviously for the last number of them, it's been you, Adam. You already have that familiarity. You wrote some of those shows or were integral in writing some of those shows. We've got costumes, as Matt pointed out. We've got a very finite amount of time to to polish a production, and that puts us ahead of the game by going ahead and bringing in a production or a theme that there's already familiarity with.
As regards to production, you guys set the bar pretty high. 2025, you literally shipped an entire diner set to Australia and back. I would expect that you're going to put as much, if not more, emphasis on production this time around, being as it's even more convenient now that it's back in the States. Dave, I can't remember where you said it. It was either on the podcast or perhaps it was at Think Tank during a tank, but you think that there's so much more that could potentially be done with production, because if you look at like musical sets or play sets, the amount of props and whatnot that are used, and there's just so much more that can be done. Are you thinking outside the box there? Do you think that Team USA could really knock it out of the park in terms of some type of production that nobody's really ever seen from a ski show? I mean, is that possible? Or
I don't want to put limitations on it. When I spoke in that context, I was thinking from an amateur standpoint and from a club standpoint, just based on the number of people that you have at your disposal. And I was going through kind of the stage as the set, and understanding that from a play format, just the integral use of different props and whatnot. And so, yeah, sky's the limit. But as going back to what Matt said, we're scratching to sometimes find a rider to ride in a boat, or to take a person out of an act if we don't have the right number of people that are spotting or whatnot. It's tough to do. So as you know, Adam, we rely so heavily on the announcer, the second announcer, the sound member, and then maybe one or two members that might not be in the current act or the next act. And so we're limited.
Yeah.
We're actually going to, on the time standpoint, we're limited too, because after the team is selected, we have 11 or 12 practice days together, period.
Yep. And how many show run-throughs is there within those 11 days?
2 at spring break, 2 practices, 2 after nationals, 2 days of practice, and then 7 or 8 days leading up to the individual competition on Friday at Worlds. That's it.
Yeah. It's hard to perfect a production when you got 4 show run-throughs, right? Yeah. Dave, to your point, do you guys think you're going to be looking for more than one announcer?
Yeah, I do. I think that it adds a level of production element, overall show element, and I think that we've been the benefactor of that over the course of time. And once we went ahead and really put an onus on the theme and the storyline, like we did in 2022 and 2025, we've done well from a scoring standpoint. We've won every production / box score since then. So I think that works well for us, and we'd be foolish not to take a hard look at bringing 2 announcers in. Matt?
Is there anything different about the application process for a potential announcer or sound person? Do you still want videos, things like that?
We do watch shows. We watch webcast shows. Like when we brought on Colin, we watched his show in person. We went back and watched the webcast. Wanted to be sure that the fit was right. When we're looking at announcers, like in a perfect world, I think Dave's right. Like 2 announcers is a fit for an enhanced production. At the same time, it depends on who our applicants are. And if we have one that can pull off one and it frees up another ski spot, maybe we have a specialty skier we want to bring on board to fill that spot. Like the roster composition is a big puzzle, right? How many guys, how many girls, how many boat drivers, how many sound and announcers? It's all part of a puzzle. And it's not been the same every year. Sometimes we've had one announcer. Sometimes we've had 13 girls. Sometimes we've had 14 girls. Sometimes, that changes. And so I think in a perfect world, from a production standpoint, we would like to have it, but we're going to be assessing and watching the talent and the fit to do a production that we want to do.
Yeah.
Here's my advice and hint to
All right, let's
announcers.
switch gears a little. Go ahead.
No, just really quick. You meant, just thinking back, there's been yourself, there's been Colin, there's been MT, there's been Brian Cullen, so on and so forth. Just the last two, Colin and MT, we selected them because we saw in them the ability to stay composed, to keep the theme, the storyline together in adverse conditions. Like, I remember Colin, the Backwater show at Nationals, during when we just prior to selecting him, was one in which we were excited about his ability to maintain that storyline and keep the production moving forward and not skipping a beat. I think MT, it was a similar situation in one of those years that we selected him. So the skiing doesn't necessarily have to reflect the level of skiing doesn't necessarily have to reflect the level of announcing when it comes to the selection of an announcer. It's composure. It's ability to keep that production moving forward.
Yep.
Yep.
Switching gears a little bit, do we know which teams are coming to 2027 Worlds?
We're starting to get an idea.
Okay.
So Australia, Belgium, Canada, likely both Germany and Sweden,
Okay.
which would be great. And there's still time for others, to come on board. There's been no action with the Chinese
I was just going to ask that.
delegation. There's been no communication or anything there. We've tried. The IWWF Show Ski Council has tried many, many, many times to connect with them, and but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good crop of teams.
Think Australia's going to be charging hard?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're awesome. They are so talented, and their themes are great. And they've continued to grow each and every Worlds, and I would expect that again.
Their leadership is awesome. Matt and I and our entire management and leadership team could not have more respect for Pete O'Neill or Brutus Ryan. They are the foundation of that team. They are the reason that team has, been mentored and fostered and developed the way that it has. They have some awesome leadership and a lot of support behind them.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do you guys think about the site? I personally love that site. I think it's awesome. What do you guys think about it, that site for Worlds?
It's going to be perfect for Worlds. Perfect size site for Worlds. The one challenge, I think, for opposing other countries is the short pyramid climb setup, because that's newer for them. So like other countries working on double fours or a double top four, we're more used to it here because we've been there. I think that's going to be the one big challenge for the other countries, is getting that pyramid built.
All right, let's wrap this up. One last question. What are you most looking forward to this time around?
I guess I'll dive in. I'm getting really excited about it right now. Like, as we look forward to the application process and starting to get this train rolling, 2027 Worlds is a long way away. It's still 18 months away from Worlds, but we're starting to get excited about it. For me, it's been the experience. Each and every team experience has been different and unique and awesome. Like, there's just something special about Team USA. Skiers check their egos. They come together. People from all over, a varying, the best of the best. But like Dave said, they're only in 4 or 5 acts. in this show and being a part of something bigger. I'm just excited for the experience of pulling this team together and making it a great experience for them. Like that's, Dave and I talk about this all the time, as our job as show directors is not just always, yes, win, put together the best show, highest scoring show, and win. And we want for the athletes to have the best experience of their life. We want for each and every one of them to have that. And that's important for us to help try to deliver that. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, what this experience brings, and then being done at the end of 2027 Worlds and saying, that was awesome. We love that team.
Yeah, you want those skiers to walk away with a bunch of Mount Rushmore moments, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. Dave, what about you?
It's such a great question. I love everything. I'm going to relish this opportunity. It might be the last opportunity. I am looking forward to seeing it through from start to finish. Matt and I have said many, many times, we are humbled to be selected as the show directors and to lead this group of skiers. Part of the reason that we are humbled is we see how much it means to those skiers to be a part of this. And for those who haven't been a part of it, it quickly becomes evident. And so just, we've done this a number of times, and just seeing it through their eyes and knowing how much it means to them and it means to us. I'm looking forward to this new crop of skiers. I say every time, and I make a plug for it, we have the data to support it. We have a 30 to 40% turnover rate. It was a little bit on the higher side this last team in 2025 from one Team USA to another Team USA. So the thought, the assumption, the judgment that the team does not change is just that. It's an assumption. So I'm excited to see how this new group of skiers pushes who are this generation or the current generation skiers, and who's given that opportunity. And again, it comes down to skill/talent and teamwork, and we try to make the best choices that we think are going to benefit the team. And so I'm excited about that and seeing it through.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, this is, you guys genuinely sound excited. It's 18 months away, but at the same time, it's 18 months away. I mean, it's go time. So thank you so much for providing that insight. Hopefully a lot of skiers or anybody looking to apply for Team USA found this very helpful and insightful. Dave, thanks again for being on the show.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
It was a great
Always
one.
fun.
It was fun to dive in depth on Team USA. And thank you to our sponsors today. Thank you to FlymanSkis. Best wishes to Nick Lyman. We're pulling for you, buddy. Hope you recover well and stronger and better than ever. People, you're going to see FlymanSkis everywhere this summer, and I just want you to send your best wishes to Nick and the Flyman family. And thank you to Saga Sports, trampoline training, on-water training. Check them out at sagasports.us.
And of course, thanks again to all of our listeners and our viewers. This is Matt and Adam and Dave, and this is The Ski Show.
Thank you for listening to The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast with Matt and Adam. If you have questions or ideas for the show, find us on social media or message us at theskishowpodcast@gmail.com.